All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to live story number 5. This is when I worked for Domino's Pizza as a delivery driver cook. Um, it was in 2008. I started working there. Um, it was slow at first for me, but then I had an idea that if I wasn't getting any tips, I wasn't getting any money, making any extra money. So I had an idea that why don't I treat them like I would anybody else I would see on the street? So I just started talking to them, asking them how their day went, how their family went, things like that. Small talk. Tell them they got nice plants, nice garden, dogs, cats, whatever they had. I'd tell them that I'd be nice to them. I'd talk to them like I would everybody else, like I do you guys when I play on the videos. So I was started getting more money all of a sudden, and then the other employees started accusing me of, maybe he's overcharging, or maybe he's not giving them back their change. There's no way here giving him all this tips and money, silver and stuff, and all this money kept adding up into my box, and so I just,
No, at first the manager got mad at you
yeah.
because you were taking an extra minute to talk to people. But then when he realized that you were making so much more money and getting repeat business, he stopped worrying about it.
Okay, so the thing was, is at first they did complain about it. They thought I was taking too long. But then after they got new customers, repeat customers, customers only asking for one person to come deliver their food, he's like, "Oh, keep doing what you're doing. We're getting more customers." So I'm still doing it, and everything's fine. I'm getting all these tips, some of which I have here laying out on my bed. Um, Silver, dollars, Susan B. Anthony's, gold. These all came from one guy. $2 bills, all from one person. All this silver here and gold, all came from one guy. He said they were old coins. He was saving them for their family, but he decided to give them to me because he figured I'd hang on to them and not be like his family and go out and just spend them immediately. And so I still have them after all this time, collecting dust in my vault. So, but yeah, I worked there. I was getting more and more customers. I even had an employee ask me to show her what I was doing, and I said, "Yeah, I can't just show you, or tell you. You have to have it in your heart on how you feel too." And I showed her. She couldn't figure out how to do it, and she said that it was a
No,
lot of
you
work.
took her with you and
Well,
showed
yeah,
her what you did, and she ended up making a lot more money that day just by
yeah.
doing what you said. And at the end of it, she said, "How do you pretend to like all these people?" And he says, "I'm
I
not
don't
pretending."
pretend. I love everybody and everything. Anybody that watches my videos knows that how I am with people and animals.
But she thought it was too much work and that it's pretending. To her, it's pretending, but to James,
To
it
me,
wasn't
I
pretending.
enjoyed that. That was one of the best parts of my day, was doing that, talking to these people, learning new things about people, and telling them parts of my life story like I tell you guys. And I would get more and more customers. And well, one day I was delivering a pizza to a customer, and that's when my ankles finally decided to give out. Um, as I got out of my car, I went around, got the pizza. I started walking up into the person's driveway, and it wasn't a very big driveway. It was only a tiny little thing. And I stepped down, and as I stepped down, both my ankles twisted inward.
And the pizza
And
flipped upside down and landed upside down. And the customer saw the whole thing and still took the pizza
still
afterwards.
gave me a $30 tip. They took the pizza, they still gave me a tip, and said that they would put in a good word for me with my boss. Well, even though they did put in a good word with me, it didn't matter. The fact of the matter was, is my legs gave out and I couldn't deliver no more. So they had to lay me off. The insurance said they wouldn't cover me, so they had to let me go. So I'm at home one day, and it was a few weeks after they let me go. I got a phone call from my boss, my old boss. He says, "You know what?" He says, "I should be really mad at you."
No, it was like 2 months
He says, "But
afterwards.
I can't blame you for this. We knew this would happen the second we fired you." He says 95% of the customers were mine. As soon as they laid me off, all 95% of those customers followed me to the next place I went to, which
No, they stopped buying pizzas,
they
basically.
stopped buying pizzas from Domino's.
And so Domino's closed down 2 months after James left.
And it was the one here on Marks and Dakota here in Fresno. They closed down because it was right next to a Blockbuster Video that closed down too. But they closed down right after they had to let me go. The store literally closed down. And it was because I was gone. The customers called and they said, he's not there no more. And they said, well, bye. They lost all of their customers because they
literally people would call in and ask if James was working, and if they said no, they would hang up and call back the next day and ask again, is James working? And if every day he wasn't working, they wouldn't order a pizza.
And it got so crazy that my boss decided that he would start calling me on my days off.
So I would get phone calls on his days off. He'd be sleeping, and I would get phone calls saying, wake him up. There's a whole bunch of customers and they only want him to deliver the pizzas. And so I literally had to wake him up and make him go to work because nobody would make the pizzas or deliver them because they only wanted James. So his boss had to call him in on his days off.
It was crazy. It was so crazy that one of the orders was so big, I had to tell the place that I was delivering it to, which was a school for a special thing they were doing, a special fundraiser, that I needed another driver because they wanted something like, I think it was 300 pizzas, and there was no way I was fitting 300 in my car. My back seat was full, my driver's seat was full, and my trunk was full, and so was the other person's car, completely full. So I had no choice but to take the other person. But when they gave me the tip, they told me to decide how to split it. And well, I gave the other person half of it because they literally helped me with it. So that's just the way I am. But yeah, after that, I haven't been working since then. So,
but he got people that loved him so much. They gave him gift baskets. One of them gave him a gift basket that had like soaps and body washes in it. It was like $15 at least for that. And then one of them gave him a brand new webcam as a tip,
which I used for a while, but then when the USB port wouldn't work no more, I had to put it up. So,
but they gave him all kinds of stuff, and so much money. He had so much money compared to all the other people, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to report your tips, and compared to all the other employees, he had so much more money. That's why they got mad at him.
I had so much money that I was going, before Blockbuster closed down, I was going next door to Blockbuster and I was buying me about 6 or 7 video games a night and I was sneaking them in the house. And she wouldn't know I did this but the video game collection was getting larger. So
one day I looked at it and I said, you have way more games in there than what you had before. And he's like, oh, you caught me. He was sneaking in so many video games and still had like $100 in tips left afterwards after buying all these video games.
So yeah, that's my story for working for Domino's.
So he literally closed down the store.
Yeah, and
when he left.
There's probably my boss will probably, if you ever get a hold of him, he'll probably ever tell you that I did close down one, but I can't say his name because I promised I would keep him out of it. But hey, what can you do? People love me. Animals love me. So.
And all it took was talking to them for 1 minute every time he delivered a pizza. And that made them so happy and to be honest, this was before they changed the recipe of the crust. Like if you notice the commercials for Domino's, they said new and improved crust. Well, that's because the crust before was crappy, so people wouldn't order the pizza. They literally were only ordering it because he was the one delivering it. And it wasn't that good. And then after he closed that Domino's down, then we start seeing commercials, for Domino's saying new and improved crust. Yeah, their pizza wasn't that good. The people only went there because the pizza was cheap and because you were delivering it.
Yeah, that was the only reason. All my customers said that was the only reason they're there is because I was delivering it. Well, there's a little minor disclaimer here. This is not an advertisement for anybody or anything like that. It's just me telling my life story, and this is part of my life story and how I accidentally closed down the Domino's here on Marks and Dakota. It was fun working there, but hey, what can you do? It wasn't my fault it got closed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video and want to see more, let me know. Give me a like. Send out to everybody you know. Also subscribe. And also remember, if you have to, when you click on the bell notification, you have to
Click all.
Click all. Not custom, not some. You got to click all if you want to receive every notification. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming, and I will see you guys later with some games. Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.